Hey, good morning and welcome to Above Life Channel. The purpose here is to inspire your spirit and fill you with hope. Coming at you from my kitchen. You're going to hear some background noise when the blender starts going, or the mixer. Is that the mixer? I don't even know, because I'm not the one that bakes the cookies. That would be him. He's baking the cookies. And there is activity in the kitchen. So you will hear some noise that you don't usually hear. Sorry, I can't give you guys the cookies. Those are for the family. I can't even actually, you know what? I should show you this. Here we go. I got these Post-it notes in front of me. There are two. You'll see it on my TikTok. I'm going to post these cookies on my TikTok. Beautiful sugar cookies that were designed by my husband, and they're on these beautiful little racks that are nice and neat and clean, and these little Post-its are in front of them. Do not eat, which I actually suggested that be put there, because otherwise kids in the middle of the night, or me, if I forget, I might just want to eat one of these gorgeous sugar cookies. Like, you got to see them. I will post them on the TikToks. So it's been interesting, hasn't it, here on Above Life Channel? You know that my channel originally has been really focused on channeling celebrities in the afterlife. Because why? Because they bring us into giving us a little motivation and curiosity about intuition, and give us some inspiration, and give us some great advice about how to be people from the afterlife. And this all started with Prince, as you know. My point is, there are playlists right now. Today, I am not going to be channeling a celebrity. I haven't been for I've only done a couple in the last 2 months, because, as you may or may not know, I have been recovering from some pretty major surgery. And because of that, my physical healing process and my energetic healing process, I kind of put myself in a cocoon in regards to that. And so I have taken time for myself to heal. And so I have not done a lot of celebrity channeling, because it brings a different grouping of viewers sometimes. And so, but I will, like I mentioned previously on a previous video, I will offer my special service that I usually offer during Christmas, during the holiday season in December. I usually offer a small handful of private recorded videos where I just do like a 10-minute little channeling for you privately, personally. And I record it, and then I send it to you. People can order those, and I record and send it to them. I typically do that during this December time, but I haven't had the opportunity to do that based upon my endurance. And so I will be doing that in January instead. And it would kind of be a way to kick off your new year if you'd like to do that. So watch for that. That'll be coming in the next few weeks. I have someone that's actually helping me organize and keep my shit together for my business right now, because of the level of work that it does take administratively to do all the links and do all the other stuff besides this. That's where I make my money. That's where I make my income. So I haven't kind of been working for a couple months, which sucks, to be honest, but I'm looking forward to gradually increasing my workload. I have had some clients now. I've had a handful of clients in the last week or so, and it's been really good. I've been doing some makeup sessions from October when I missed a bunch. And so it's been really good. It's been really, really good. I love it. And I had a friend of mine that says, well, is it hard to be psychic? Like, you can't be psychic right now? I said, oh no, that's not a problem. That is easy. That is like not hard at all. It's just like, I'd rather just, if I could just roll on up and do psychic work, intuitive work, coaching work, motivational spirit work, I would do it all the time, constantly. But it's all the administrative parts that go with it that adds the extra. I gotta, my brain has to be really organized. And right now it's kind of scattered, at times. It's also that season where it's like the holidays and lots going on. And I got 4 kids, and now I have one of my kids has a girlfriend, and so I got a extra stocking now, and I have more stocking stuffers, and it's that whole thing. You guys know that if you have older kids too, it's like, oh my gosh. And so there's been extra stuff with that, and then also we're starting to get the bills from Cape Cod from the hospital and stuff. So far, I think we're up to 500,000, but I'm very fortunate to be able to have been in a situation where I have health insurance. And so that's not out of pocket. I'm not going to have to pay $500,000. Well, and it'll be more than that too after. I mean, there's a lot, obviously. So, and then there's more that have been incurred since because of all the like rehab that I'm in, cardiac rehab and all that. And that visits to the cardiologist and all that stuff. So, but I want you to here on Above Life channel to know like where I'm at, because I want to keep showing up and being here, but I want you to know that this is not a channeling video. I'm not going to do a psychic channeling of a celebrity. And so then you're probably like, what are you going to do? Well, the topic today, or what I'm going to talk about, is this week energetically, because this is the week of, we're heading toward the holiday of Christmas, and we're heading toward solstice. That holiday is this week as well. And then after that, there is the full moon is on the 26th of December. Christmas is on the 25th. And I think the solstice is the 21st or 20th, depending upon where you are, I think. And there's also, just started last week, a Mercury retrograde. Last week was a nightmare. That week was just, and Mercury retrograde will start there. You know that everybody jokes, there's memes about Mercury retrograde. What does that mean? Oh, da-da. If you don't even follow astrology, you know that stuff. It's like that stuff happens like with technology. Mercury retrograde is supposed to be a time to do evaluating, reviewing, revisiting, reflection, which actually helps then because we're nearing the end of this year. And so that's naturally what's happening. People are reminiscing, people are remembering, people are reflecting, they're reviewing, but it's not a time to necessarily start brand new things. If you can help it, depending upon kind of how your energy personally feels. I mean, it's not like don't start new things, don't sign contracts for sure. It depends on you and your energy. For some people, it's fine. For other people, it's not. For me, yesterday, I spent, 25 minutes doing a great live stream Sunday morning coffee, which, as you know, on Above Life channel, we have Sundays and Mondays. We hang out here. And on Sundays, we have coffee and we do we have a conversation topic, and I talk about that topic, and it's connected to energy and intuition. And sometimes I do cards, oracle cards. Sometimes I do meditations or energy activations or things like that. It's intuitive stuff, but it's all geared here toward helping you be a human, because we're so empathic, you and I. We feel everything. That's why you're freaking out right now. That's why you're stressed out. You're trying to make sure everything's even, all those gifts are even, or that you're not eating too much of those cookies, or you are and you just don't care because they're your vice right now. The cookies are helping you through it. They're your therapy, whatever. I actually have therapy today. Thank you. I have 2 forms of therapy today. I got my counselor, and then an hour later, I have my cardiac rehab, which I love the guys at cardiac rehab, and they're all men. But I'm the badass that had my chest cut open. I had open heart surgery, and they just had like stuff going through their veins and stuff, like a stent put in or something. And I'm like, yeah, well, I got a big old scar on my chest, and I am such a badass there. Let me just say, I am. Yes, I am. I love my body. She's beautiful and so strong, and I'm very, very connected to her. Anyway, going back to Mercury retrograde, here we go. So I spent that whole time talking to you, sharing with you, and I guess it was 25 minutes of you having to practice your intuition as to what the fuck I was saying, because no audio, like none. And I did just check that there's audio here. And all it was that my computer turned off my microphone. It switched it to a different microphone that wasn't even plugged in, because I have a couple different ones. And I'm like, what? This is my favorite. I love this one. This one's so pretty. So yeah, that's what happened. So that's Mercury retrograde is known for kind of messing with technology and things like that. And that's just like the stereotypical stuff. It affects everybody different. And for some, this time of year is just a time where energetically you just get tired. Part of it is the lack of sunshine, although today the sun is beaming in. Beam to me, baby. Beam to me. Oh, yes. I love the solar energy. Yes, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And solar energy, the sun energy, is typically that masculine energy, and that moon energy, that full moon that's coming up on the 26th of December. It is the feminine. And during this fall time, I don't know if you know this, I'm going to give you a little lesson in divine feminine wisdom knowledge, because that's part of what I'm doing in my efforts to connect with you now, is to teach and to share and to educate what I know, to share with you all the stuff that I know, because I know a lot of stuff about intuition, spirituality, energy, all that. We're going to talk about the divine feminine for just a moment, and that moon energy on the 26th, that full moon, belly moon, that is known as the energy of the feminine, while the solar is known traditionally as the masculine. Now, we know that there's rays of all of these, and there's the androgyny of the in-between, which I really identify with that energy. I like that androgynous energy in between. I love that. I would refer to myself a bit like that in characteristics or traits, although my pronouns are she and her, in case you're wondering. They're she, her. And in the fall, traditionally then, starting in October, when we start into the season where then in the wheel of the year, because I follow the Celtic wheel of the year, it's part of a lineage that I have in my divine feminine history, like in past lives and just connected to the earth. And I just really, really feel that energy deeply for myself. In October, then there is Samhain, or that high holy day of that what is Halloween, what is known as Halloween, which it is the entrance into that dark feminine, which doesn't mean negative, scary, bad nightmares. It means dark, into the darkness, where we can have quiet, where we can have peace, where we can have reflection time, where we can have quiet time, where we're not expected to go out and go to the picnics and the soccer games and the all of this and everything outside, and the family camping trips and the vacations and all that the summer brings when the kids are out of school traditionally, and all this stuff, right? And so there's this time of the darker feminine where we get to rest. Supposedly, theoretically, in theory, it doesn't always happen, but etherically, that was the intent, was to, after the harvest, to let the earth rest, to let everything kind of chill and be mellow, to let us go within, to gather up all of the fruits of our harvest, and to allow ourselves then to be within or inside for the winter time, traditionally winter time, and have that season in the soul also become from fall, the letting go of fall, the releasing, and the connection then during that Halloween time, that Samhain time, to the spirit world, and then to go into our own souls and spirits, right? Into our own spirit, our own soul, and spend time with our own spirit during the winter, during the time when we're supposed to be reflective inside, internally. And then that goes until that solstice time, where then all of a sudden there's because it gets darker and darker and darker, like the daylight where I live anyway. This is the pattern that I follow. It's not the same for everybody all over the world, but this is the pattern that I follow, that I'm connected to, sharing my story here, and how I know this and relate and connect give you some kind of frame of reference here. And most of you will relate to this also. But into that solstice time, that winter solstice, where there's that celebration of light coming back, the light comes back because the light starts to get less and less and less and less. And the dark hours of the day gets longer and longer and longer. The night gets longer. And so the dark feminine, the moon energy is what reigns, not the sun, the solar, but the moon energy is what reigns. And so there's this shift in power and this call for respite and for recharging and rejuvenating. So the Mercury retrograde really supports that recharge, renew, rejuvenate, reconnect, recommit energy. And so then when we get to that, this week, we get to that. We get to the solstice. I'm doing a group tomorrow night, and it's the first one I've done since like September, you guys. It's been a while. It's been a hot minute. So I'm looking forward to that. It's a pretty full group too, I think, from what it looks like, an online group that we're doing. But I intentionally did it right before the solstice to help work with some of these energies of recognizing how much we are and how much we've been served by that feminine energy of that moon energy. Whether we like it or not, it's been a very energetic time. It traditionally is anyway, where we notice more things like solar flares or more astrology pieces, and then the change of seasons. Some of us have physical change in the season. Some of us just have calendar change, linear change in the timing of things, or seasonally or cyclically with the timing or the turning of the calendar, And so there's a lot of ways that we recognize these patterns or these changes. But this week now we have the solstice, the winter solstice. And so it's that return of the light energy, that celebration of the return of the light. And quite literally, that's what happens. It starts to become, it's like the longest night, and then everything becomes light again. The light starts to grow. And so it's symbolic of who we are. Our light starts to grow inside of us. That means your connection to your spirit gets to be renewed, you get to recommit to that. Let me just go grab a tissue quick here, just a minute. My nose has been so runny. Just a minute. Okay. Woo-hoo, child. Okay. Whew. I love the solstice energy. I really, 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 really do. And I'm super grateful for the return of the light, because here where I live, the climate starts to get really cold after the solstice. And during the solstice, I often will do here's a couple things you could do if this fits you. You can obviously journal about the connection of you to your spirit and the return of the light for you. You could also do a ceremony or ritual to release things that you want to leave. You could do a thing where you reflect upon this year and then give yourself some time to journal about it, go for a walk in nature, connect to the earth, maybe do a little fire ceremonially. This year I'm not using fire as much. I'm really connecting to the water element. So what I might do is fill up a vase with water in it and use that as my remembrance energy, the vibration of remembrance, and to just honor all the things that have flown into and out of my life this year. You could take a bath and allow that to happen and just kind of clear the body, cleanse the body energetically from all the things that have impacted you this year, and then allow yourself to integrate all the good stuff and to integrate the lessons that have been learned as well, and to make medicine out of that. Not to dwell on anything, not to live in the past, but just to give yourself time to make room, just like you'd make room in your closet for different clothes for different seasons. This is a different season of your life that you're going to be entering now. And so give yourself that time to kind of reflect and review and just kind of be in that space for just a bit. Maybe use a journal to kind of do that. But also you can use, I use Canva to create collages. which is an online software, but you could use Pinterest or you could do actual old school vision board. I also did one of those when I was in Maine. Actually, I did a vision board. We did vision boards one night. It was so much fun. We had girls' night. We did vision boards and we're in our jammies, and it was awesome. That was awesome. So that's kind of a fun thing to do too. That's a great thing to do on New Year's, actually, or the week between Christmas and New Year's, that last week of the year kind of thing. That's a good thing to do also then, but to give yourself permission, like I feel like the solstice for me is a time to just let go of stuff, let go of the stuff that's holding me back or hurting me, and allow myself to have the love come in. That's kind of what it is like for me. So giving you kind of a sense of energy and kind of what's up energetically and things that you might be feeling kind of inside as an empath and maybe not being able to put words to it. It's not that you have to identify with a particular holiday or a particular energy event like Mercury retrograde or a full moon or a Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever you would celebrate. It's not a religious thing. It's a connection to your spirit. However, your spirit feels light. And it could be all of these different ways. And so you are made of light after all. You really are. Like if you looked at your DNA spiritually, if you looked at your solar plexus, you're made of light. And I can tell you that for a fact, because when I was in that in-between space, there's light. I mean, everything is just it was very light in one of the vignettes that I was in. So it was very, very light. Very pure, clean, light energy, for sure. Okay, did I hit every topic? Oh, intuition. We had to talk about intuition too. So during the end of the year, it is very likely that people will transition. And that includes you in ways that are not so literal, not death-focused, literal death, body death, but you will transition into a new part of your life, a new phase, a new cycle. It might look the same or familiar as the old one, but it is new. You're going to step across a doorway, step across the threshold into the new year. You just are. You might go to sleep and then wake up in the new year, but you are. So just acknowledge that, okay, there is a transition that's going to happen and it's going to happen no matter what. You're going to be done with 2023 and you're going to go into 2024. And so how big of a deal you want to make of it is really on you. But there is an opportunity to be able to connect with your loved ones from the afterlife. More so, it seems, during the holidays, during the end of the year, especially during the end of the year. And just because there's holidays there doesn't necessarily mean that that's why. But it might be that there are a bunch of people that are gathering together and they share that common loved one. So it's easier maybe to feel the call for that loved one to be able to connect because there's so many people that are thinking of them or have them in their hearts or are aware of them. And I can tell you from my little bit of time in the afterlife area that they do think of us and they do show up in imagery. At least for me, that was my experience, that like my dad, especially, I remember seeing my dad in imagery. I saw him. He looked like he did as a person, like how I remembered him. And that's what he looked like. And I can imagine that we can utilize our personas to be able to connect. But that's not always the case. So sometimes people might not show up, like your grandpa might not show up how you would see them, like clairvoyantly actually see them or physically see them at the dinner table. But they might show up in a memory, a story. Somebody starts talking about them. Remember when grandpa did this, or remember when this happened? Oh my gosh, your grandfather did X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. They're there when that happens. They're there. It's an energetic thing. It's like an instant connection. It's an instant contact. I'm telling you, because this is the truth. This is how it works. It's instant. There is not a separation. It seems like there's a separation. We act like there's a separation. Even psychics, even me, I act like, well, there's this place and it's and we do that because it's it's easier for your brain to process and understand something tangible. Everybody is so literal in the mind. Everybody is, even me, very literal. Like heaven is this place. Well, it kind of is. And also it's not. And when you talk about grandpa instantly connects. Whether you acknowledge it or not, it doesn't matter. Grandpa's still there because they're part of the weaving. They're part of the ambiance of the energy that surrounds you because it's part of the experience you've held in this lifetime, whether it's been good or bad. It's not like they're hanging on you and they look like a ghost, or it's not like that. It's not like that. It's not. And sometimes it's like a song that reminds you of them. And sometimes it's a shirt. Like you see somebody that has like the same type of flannel checked shirt that grandpa used to wear. And you're like, oh, and all of a sudden you remember grandpa. Why? Because grandpa just connected with you and you connected with grandpa. And that's how it works. It's not difficult. It's not hard. But the intuition piece is really about the way your soul speaks energetically. So the language of your spirit, your soul, is an intuition. What that is energy. It's energy, and it's not tangible. It's not like literal. It's ethereal. It's magical. It's light and fluffy and airy, and it's how the feeling of beauty when you look at a clouds in the sky and the way the sunrise comes up over the horizon of the gorgeous big cedar trees. That's beautiful. That's energy. That's a language. That's beautiful. That's intuition. How is that intuition? That's energy. Intuition isn't about answering a yes or a no or a right or a wrong or a male or a female or a past and the future. It's not a past life or your future, what's going to happen. That's not what it is. That's not intuition. That's your brain wanting to support the contrast and the separation of what is and what could be. When you connect in spirit form to energy, that's the what could be. That's the what's possible. That's the limitless. Interesting, isn't it? And so everything is close. And some people will say, the veils are thin. It always reminds me of when language like that is used, which is fine. That's totally fine, you guys. But I'm going to tease about it a little bit. I'm going to joke about it a little bit. It reminds me of Madame Leota. Anybody know who Madame Leota is? Anybody know who Madame Leota is? Please respond by ringing a bell. Anybody know who that is? They're like having a seance and the floating head is Madame Leota at the Haunted Mansion in Disneyland, Disney World, California, Florida, whatever, take your pick, like that. It's kind of like that, like the veils are thin. And so now we ask the spirits to join us. Dude, spirit's always around. Don't mean to creep you out, but it's the truth. And it wouldn't be scary at all. It'd be totally normal and natural if you were connected to yours. Okay. So just be connected to your spirit, connected to your soul, and don't get busily distracted by not following what you know you need to do for your best, greatest good, for your healthy life choices, and reshift and do what your mom wants you to do, even though you're a grown-ass adult, or do what your husband wants you to do, or do what your wifey wants you to do, or do what your kids expect of you, or because God forbid you let somebody down and disappoint people. Okay, you're not 6. Okay, you're not like that little kid that can't ride a bike, or the 15-year-old that, got a bad grade on your test. Like, What? Stop that. Connect to your spirit. Honor yourself. You're an empath. You're going to feel things. Respect that. Don't reject it. Respect it. Don't reject it. There's so many things I'd love to say about that, but I don't want to get on my soapbox too much. I think that's some good information about this week and about understanding the energy stuff. So if you feel like you're going nutso, drink more water, go for walks outside, spend some time by yourself, take a bath if you can. Even if it's going for a drive, bring your journal with you, go for a drive, sit down, write. Don't try to think things through to figure things out. Let yourself feel the energy of beauty. Go and look at Christmas lights. Go and park by the lake and look at how gorgeous that is. And imagine amazingly the water moving underneath that lake and how solid it is and how it can change just like you can change. Do things like that so you can feel. And maybe go get a cup of hot chocolate and hold it in your hands and feel the warmth of it and let it warm your heart when you're holding it. And think about how that cup feels in your hand. Use your brain for something that's sensory to support energetically, not to think and overthink and figure things out and fix things and find answers. Do not do that. That is a huge distraction and detriment to you right now. Because there's so many energetic things that are happening, you can't think your way through it. Good luck with that. Those are people who are detached, not people who are present and active in life, in the relationship of life, in the gift of life, in the beauty of life. And I know sometimes life is extraordinarily painful and that there's suffering and that this year may have been just a shit show for you and for your loved ones, and you might have lost your job, your house, your dog. I mean, I actually did. I lost a job. I lost a dog. Actually, just one dog this year. And a lot of things. I lost a lot of things. I kind of lost a house, I guess you might say. And I almost lost my life. My life. So let me be an advocate for yours, for your spirit and your heart. Even if you're living with your in-laws right now, or you have to share a bedroom with your kids, it doesn't matter. If you have a roof over your head, even if it's a temporary one, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Do you have a cozy blanket, a soft pillow, access to music, an inspiring podcast, to food? Maybe it's not the best food, but to food? Can you get outside and walk? Can you breathe fresh air? Can you breathe without the help of a machine? Can you walk without a walker? Can you walk without a wheelchair? Life. This is your life and you get to live it. Just live it. Let's do cards. Should we do a card? Card decks are a tool. As I said, I'm going to share with you everything that I know so that you can connect with your intuition and live a uplifting, hopeful life, doing the best you can on your healing journey, whatever that might be. Maybe we'll jumpstart your healing journey. Maybe you'll start taking accountability for the way you feel instead of blaming your ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend in some cases. I'm going to say hello in the chat. Hello, Elsie. Hey, Mary. Nice to see you, Amy. Oh, Jen. Wow, that's cool that you're here. Nice to see you. Okay, let me just see here just a second. Oops. Just reading. Yeah. Recognizing the people that have impacted us and helped us in this lifetime. That's awesome. Beautiful. Okay, just a minute here. I can't scroll down here. Why can't I do that? Ah, there we go. Hey, Hallie. Welcome. I'm going to sneeze. Woo! I'm going to sneeze. Sorry. I think I might be getting a titch of a cold. I don't know. I hope not. Hi, Lisa from Florida. Hallie from Canada. Hey. Mary, nice to see you again. Mary, you're in here twice, I think. All right, let's do cards, guys. Let's get a card, an inspiring card. We're going to do a super basic, easy peasy lemon squeezy one. These are my favorite. You know, Denise, Linn, I really like her stuff because it's very grounded, centered, and easy to understand, easy to start with. These are real basic ones, Gateway Oracle cards, Denise, Linn. They're always linked in the description below if you're looking for them and are like, what was that again, she said. These are real basic ones. Here's what these look like. Haven't used these on here in a long time. These are real basic, easy to start with, super easy. They look like this. Okay, we're going to do these. There's no magical way to do them. Oftentimes, if you use tools like a card deck, I'm not talking about a tarot deck. Tarot is like a lineage. It's like a specific system or structure. And some people love that. They dig it. They're really into it. They love to just go deep in that. Great. If that's you, go for it. That's not my jam. I like stuff straightforward and easy to read. And so these are what you consider an oracle deck, which is like an intuitive deck, right? That's all it is. Okay. So we're going to connect with this one and see what we can get as far as energy for this week. Oh, communicating freely. I communicate from the depths of my being. This just brings forward the information that we were talking about today about really connecting, allowing yourself to be connected to energy, intuition, and to understanding kind of what that means for you, what that looks like for you. Not any one person, one coach, one psychic, one intuitive, one healer, one energy form, one tool like this or cards or singing bowls or whatever is going to be right for everybody. It's not like that. It's like you try it out, you sample it. It's like cereal. What kind of cereal do you like? Like that, okay? But it's all cereal. It feeds your belly. So whatever works for you. I am very, very visual. As you know, I'm very clairvoyant. So what I do when I tell people about using cards or card decks like this is I say, key in on the imagery here. What do you notice? What are symbols or metaphors here? Do you see the heart there? I see the heart. I see the energy of the element of air or the breath. So the air element might be something that really resonates with you. It's about change. It's about letting go. But the fact that it kind of flows, is it flowing out or in? It kind of, I'm making the assumption that this is an exhale. It's all this beautiful stuff that's coming out of this person to be shared with others because of the beautiful yellow energy keying into the visualization of the visual imagery of color. So that beautiful blue could be that night sky. The blue is a very priestess, divine feminine color. That blue is also connected to, like we talked about, that dark feminine time of year, which is what we're in now, and that beautiful cosmos and the energy of that Mercury retrograde could be the universal consciousness energy there, that blue night sky. But then when you look at the images here, this is like leaves and things. This feels like springtime. This is what we're gearing up toward. So we have the dark time so that the seeds can be dormant underground, right? And then they come up during the spring so that that winter solstice leads into that spring equinox, right? It leads into that, hey, springtime, when stuff starts to pop up and come alive again and come outside again, come out of its shell again, come out, be shared with the world again. This is kind of like, here's the dark right now that we're in, which again, dark is not negative. Dark could just mean rest. Like shut the shades in the room so you get good rest, right? Like room darkening curtains. Hello. Yes, it's like that. And then this is what's next. This is why we're doing this. And notice how it's on the brain. Look at how the mind is, and the eyes are quieted. They're not asking for answers. The third eye isn't going, show me, tell me, I need to know what the future holds. It's like all chilling. This is the chill time, the quiet time. Oh, the quiet time. You're going to get a headache because you're thinking too hard, overthinking. So we're chilling. And guess what? Then naturally, this is what's flowing out of us eventually. The stuff that's all deep inside that throat chakra, that heart chakra is going to come flowing out naturally, gently, and gracefully. Look at that heart energy, that yellow solar plexus energy. This is beautiful, communicating freely. This doesn't necessarily mean external. This might also be a cue for you to release. I used to tell clients all the time when I did psychic mentoring, which I will start to be doing again, by the way. So if you're a client or somebody that is interested in doing mentoring with me, you should reach out, just send me an email and say, hey, this is what I'd like. And we'll have a conversation about that potentially, if you're interested in that. But is to release the exhale. And I'm so glad, you guys, because guess what? My belly is a little squishy right now, a little soft. But I can exercise it now. I can tense it up and release in my diaphragm. I can breathe by exhale, which releases so much pent-up energy, and it softens the rib cage, and it softens the heart chakra, and I can tell you that by fact. And then it gives me room for a bigger breath and an inhale. Nice. You see? Then you can freely move inside of yourself. You're creating space and room for yourself, for your own creativity, for your own intuition to flow, for your own emotions to move and flow. The key is the flow of the energy and the freedom. I communicate from the depths of my being. So your intuition coming from your belly, your low belly, that sacral chakra, your heart, your solar plexus, that spirit chakra in your tummy, and then up into your heart space. So all those energy centers are communicating with each other from the depths of your being. You're communicating freely. You're not restricted to each individual house of the chakra. The heart chakra, the solar plexus, the sacral chakra, the root chakra, they're all together, hanging out, chilling, working together, communicating, talking, giving each other space and room. Solar plexus is saying, hey, throat chakra, I need a little bit of room and space down here. So the heart's going, hey, I can handle that. I'm going to move up to the throat chakra a little bit. We're going to share some space. Solar plexus, you can come hang out in the heart, all this stuff. Like they're just sharing space. Everybody's sharing space. And it's freedom, flowing freely. Nice. All right. Again, this is just one tool you can use for your own intuition for connection. This is a Denise Linn card deck, the Gateway Oracle Cards by Denise Linn. All right. So thank you so much for being here on this Monday morning. Again, if you're looking for celebrity channeling, go ahead and check out the playlist. We got Freddie Mercury there. We got Robin Williams there. We got Prince there. We got Michael Jackson there. We got Marilyn Monroe. We've got, I think I've done Marlene Dietrich. I've done Anna Nicole Smith. We did a little bit of Matthew Perry a couple weeks ago. Yes, I know. It was the heart, wasn't it? Yes, it was. I know there's other things too, but I know it's the heart. I know. Who else? I mean, everybody, the Kennedys, we've done Elvis multiple times. We've had really great conversations with so many interesting people. I'm thinking of like Louise Hay, Wayne Dyer, Debbie Ford. We did Joan Rivers. We did Natalie Wood, we've done Judy Garland, we've done just all sorts of people, young people, older people, just lots and lots of people. So take a look at that and binge on that if you're making cookies too and need something to do. So I'm so sorry about yesterday's. Oops. I'm going to do, it was about affection. And I was contemplating or thinking about this idea of being touched and also how we share and receive affection from other people. Not just as a form of love, like romantic love, but as a form of just energetic, compassionate connection, love, kindness, and not just in physical form and physical touch, but in auditory ways. Just a lot of different things came up with the affectionate piece. So I think I'm going to do a Sunday morning coffee and share some stuff with you. I will also continue to share with you about my time in the in-between space and my experience. I want to talk to you about the ambulance ride and things like that, but I'll do that on separate videos, I think, because I think that not everybody's going to be down and interested in hearing about that necessarily, but in learning more about intuition and energy and different things, I think people will be interested in that. It's time that I start sharing a lot of that experiences that I've had. So, all right. And I will, yes, of course, I'm going to channel celebrities again. I just need to make sure my energy is up to par and that I'm better at holding my space. Last week I was rocked. So I was like, ooh, this is not good. Last week right before the Mercury retrograde, and I just was like, I was visually like triggered and then like let my guard down or something. I don't know what happened, but it was messy. I just felt like it was like not fun. And it affected me physically. And I was like, ooh, okay, this just shows me staying cocooned for a while. So, all right. So I hope we've inspired your spirit for the 100th time, filled you with some hope, and encouraged you to live your life. This is your life after all, and you get to live it. Just live it. Thanks for being here, everybody. Appreciate you. Bye for now.